Had he called her pretty? She shoved a soggy wisp of hair off her cheek and anchored it behind her ear, her hands shaking. Turning over her handbag, she dumped out the letters from the soon-to-be husband she'd never met, crackers wrapped in a handkerchief, unfinished needlework, and her embroidered purse. She opened its clasp. 3 pennies, a nickel, and a $50 fell into her lap. He kicked her foot.
"Where's the rest of it?"
"That's all I have." The robber's eyelids narrowed over his light blue eyes. Blonde stubble meandered up the sides of his face above the bandana.
58 cents.
His eyes raked down her body, and she hunched as if she could hide from his licentious leer.
"That's not homespun you're wearing, though it ain't pretty."
He leaned closer, his body odor overwhelming.
"You got more than that."
She dug her fingers into the seat cushion. "I've got nothing for you." She pressed her teeth into her lower lip. Surely God would understand her evasiveness. He squatted, shoved aside her skirt, and glanced under the seat.
"No carpet bag?"
"I only have 2 trunks in the freight car." She moved her legs farther to the left lest he touch her again, or ask her to move her legs the other way. Despite being covered with layers of skirt, flesh, and bone, the wad of bills felt conspicuous. The robber stood, swiped the coins off her lap, and deposited her measly change into his breast pocket. He thrust his empty palm toward the old woman beside her.
"Stop with the mumbling, lady. Give me your ring."
Eliza pressed against her seat, creating space between his hot, sweaty body and her offended nose. Mrs. Farthington stopped praying, her damp eyes pleading.
"That was my late husband's.
Please, sir, if you'd only allow me."
"Don't sir me, just hand it over. Didn't you hear the part about keeping us happy?"
The cheek muscle beneath the robber's eye jumped. Eliza tensed. Surely he wouldn't throw the widow out the window.
"Now, old woman."
He jiggled his open hand. Eliza stared at the scar beside his pinky and ran her tongue over her teeth. How she'd like to sink her teeth into that faint half-circle. The widow pulled the thick gold band off her thumb. The robber snatched the pretty piece and slid the ring onto his finger atop 2 others.
"Hand over your cash."
The old lady fumbled with her reticule's drawstrings. He leaned over, reaching for the widow's purse, but a sudden lurch made him grab for the shelves above them instead.
"What's this?"
His hand grazed Eliza's leg, and the wad of cash slipped from under her thigh as he pulled out a bill. He waved the dollar in front of her.
"No money, huh?"
Just a poor girl down on her luck. He grabbed her by the waist and hefted her out of the seat. She shrieked as he tossed her over his shoulder as if she weighed no more than a bag of oats. Holding her with one arm, he dipped down.
"Look, fellas, I found the goose that lays the golden eggs."
"Let me go." She flailed her fist at his head, but he dumped her back onto the seat before she could make contact. His eyebrows rose and he ran his thumb across her thick wad of cash.
"Mighty obliged."
If things didn't work out in Salt Flats, what recourse would she have without a penny to her name? She snatched at her money, and the robber gave her a murderous look. He leaned down until his eyes were so close they seemed to merge into one.
"You realize I ought to make an example out of you, so others don't get any funny ideas."
His hot, slop pot breath made Eliza want to turn away. Instead, she narrowed her eyes at the man inches from her face. He drew back and cocked his head, then gestured with his arm to the other passengers.
"I don't care if you're a woman, a child, a saint, or a sinner."
His strange, gravelly voice boomed.
"You will not hold out on us."
He raised his hand and cracked his pistol against her cheek, setting fire to her face. Her body hit the plump side of the woman beside her, and the sunlight dimmed. Eliza pressed her palm against the pane, moaning deep and low to keep from crying out.